President Aquino in particular, and of course the APEC leaders that have joined us over the next few days. The success of APEC, of course, is founded on the fact that it is a fusion between successful business leaders and politics, and the ability for one another to come together to find solutions for economic growth. Our perceptions and the perceptions I want to give you are those of a small and very open economy. So let me start by saying what we can observe, like everyone else, post the global financial crisis, is that some countries are doing extremely well, and many of those are in the Asia-Pacific region. Other economies are struggling and are indeed very fragile. But if we look at the trends that are taking place, they are, in our mind, extremely clear. And that is that the highest level of economic growth will come out of the Asia-Pacific region. We see a very young, increasingly wealthy, industrialising population, one that will demand commodities and for which we are going to see, as far as we can see into the future, significant economic growth. So regional integration, from our perspective, is going to rely very heavily on the ability to trade, as President Aquino said, with one another a lot more closely. And I think we need to recognise the size of the opportunity that APEC presents for us. We must do our best to leverage the growth that is going to take place over the next decade or two. To give you some perspective of the benefits of trade from New Zealand's point of view, we are a very open and free trade country. Our most comprehensive agreement comes with our nearest partner, Australia, when some 25 odd years ago we signed CER. In the end, that agreement proved to be not only good for growth, good for consumers, but it built robustness in both economies and provided more jobs. It's in this regard that we see APEC as providing a real opportunity to expand economic growth amongst the partners, and that opportunity has presented itself recently with the announcement of the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which now includes 9 countries. We believe that is an opportunity too good to let slip by, but it is important that we deliver both a comprehensive and high quality agreement. We believe it is a one-time catalyst to extend to free trade across all members of APEC, and that we should work hard to achieve that. Equally, we can see very similar results taking place through the East Asian Summit, where the President and I were both present in Vietnam last week, or the week before last. What we see there is the desire for CEPA, or the ASEAN Plus 6, which of course includes not only the 10 countries of the ASEAN region, but of course Australia, New Zealand, India, China, Korea and Japan. From New Zealand's perspective, we also believe that there is progress to be made when it comes to Doha. So from our perspective, regional integration will be successful when we have comprehensive trading agreements that allow countries to trade with one another and to grow the economic opportunities. I want to finish just, if I may, Mr. Chairman, with some comments about the exchange rate, because I think one of the key themes that we will see emerging as we discuss regional integration over the next few days, and of course in the years ahead, will be about the exchange rate. One of the real risks that we see is that escalating tensions when it comes to exchange rate policy runs the risk of derailing economic growth. That would not only be bad for Asia, but that would be bad globally, because clearly we see Asia as the growth engine. Adjustments to exchange rates, in our view, are both natural and appropriate, and they're an important mechanism for invigorating growth, for increasing consumer demand and for controlling inflation. But it's important in our view that there's a recognition that while exchange rates play a big part in determining growth and competitiveness, that there is some fairness in the process. To give you a perception of how important we see the exchange rate from New Zealand's point of view, in the last 25 years we have gone and looked at all of the factors that we believe have driven economic growth, and the clearest correlation is between the real exchange rate and the level of economic growth we've achieved in the last 25 years. So it is, at least in my view, that when it comes to adjustments in the exchange rates as we're seeing at the moment, there needs to be both a degree of patience and fairness. Those moves cannot be too pronounced nor too slow. It is, after all, the rate of change and the ability for countries to adjust that is important, not the absolute level of the exchange rate. If we don't get this right, it's my view that we will see currency wars, we'll see retaliatory action taken that would be bad for economic growth, that would have unintended consequences, and it would be bad for integration in the region. Thank you very much.
Address this